Hi everyone. I was asked to share my personal experience with you guys about the last Ascent quarter, and I'm happy to do so. So let's start. During the quarter, I felt quite proud of myself to stay away from porn and masturbating, the usual topic, and therefore it was pretty good because I have quite a decent streak. And over time, a shift occurred. I started to feel more like a victim. I felt life was unfair. I felt hopeless. And of course, I had to find someone that I can blame. So obviously, my parents was the easiest, place that I can attack for all my pain and my unhappiness. And I accused them of all the things they did or didn't do in the past, and even now what they should be doing with me. They should love me, they should listen to me, they should hold me, they should be something like, I don't know what it is, but they should love me. I was basically blaming everything and everyone that I could see for my unhappiness without even trying to change myself or trying to see what is really true about my yeah, victimhood behavior. So when you feel empty and afraid for like weeks, I was trying to fill that void, that emptiness with something. So I turned to video games. I stayed up all night. I couldn't sleep. And I was scrolling through Reddit. And as you can imagine, that wasn't enough. So I ended up watching porn and I masturbated. And that was my way to fill all of that emptiness. But there's also different ways to fill your emptiness. As I mentioned, you can play video games, you can look through social media, maybe you please people, maybe you're angry, maybe you run away emotionally or physically, you take drugs, you overeat, you drink alcohol. I've been there as well. Or you have suicidal thoughts. And porn is just another one on this list of trying to escape from this empty feeling. And you hope that it will connect you, it makes you feel less lonely. But the truth is, the reality is that, yeah, you feel even lonelier afterwards. And I just wanted to share a quick realization I had about porn as well, actually quite recently, not during that time, but now I see it more clearly. When you watch porn, instead of feeling like genuinely connected with someone, you still feel used at the end of this ordeal. You can say that. And the people in the videos don't really care about you or your needs. They really just get your attention, your praise, maybe even your money if you paid for it. But at the same time, we are also using them for our own personal selfish desires. So we take pleasure in that superficial connection we have with them. But the truth is, we also don't really care about that person we see on that screen. So at the end, we are being used, and deep down, we know we are also just using that. And in this kind of environment, how do you feel? Do you feel connected and happy, or do you feel actually lonely? And I guess everyone knows the answer. So back to my story. When I, yeah, had my slip, obviously I felt all these familiar emotions of, loneliness, fear, guilt, shame, blah, 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 all of that crap. And usually I would sink into that negative space. I would, you know, believe that all my efforts, everything I did, everything I worked for this last year emotionally was lost. It was wasted because I watched porn again. And I thought, you know, that's it. I've hit rock bottom. I'm back to the beginning where I was, and I have to, start from scratch and start from day one, start counting the streak or whatever. Actually, I didn't count it before, but it felt like you're just, back at the foot of the mountain. But this time it was different. this time I didn't back up at the beginning where I thought I would be, because I'd taken the steps throughout this last year to be truthful about myself, about my selfish behaviors, and to share them with people who are actually capable of caring about me and loving me. For example, my mentor or my group and some other lovely people that I have in my life. So over the last year, I learned something very crucial. I am loved, no matter what. And I learned when I make mistakes, I can be truthful about it, because that's what matters. Instead of hiding it, your shame, your guilt, all the stuff you do wrong, I can move on from it without drama. There is no shame, there is no guilt. It's a mistake, yes, maybe sometimes painful also for other people. But at the end of the day, it's a mistake you made, and it's a learning moment, and it's a moment where you can learn to move forward. And we've been all told these lies of, we have to be perfect as children, otherwise we're not worthy of love. If we don't do this and that and that, people stop loving us, or they love us less. But that's not true. We are always worthy of love. And you can only really believe that, and you can really feel it when you actually reach out to people who are capable of loving you unconditionally. People who can actually see you for who you are and can prove these lies wrong. So for me, it's been these responses of these people that are actually capable of loving me that have changed me throughout that year, and how I see myself. And sometimes we wish and hope that this love sometimes comes from our parents. And I was very embittered because I felt like I didn't receive that from mine. But the truth is, sometimes they are not capable of giving it. And it's not because they don't love us and because they don't want to. No parent, or I haven't seen a parent who would say, "Oh, today I'm gonna hurt my child. I don't love him or her." The truth is that they never received unconditional love themselves. So how can you give something when you haven't received it in ever? But what I've realized and what I've learned is that any source of unconditional acceptance and love can help heal these wounds. So it doesn't matter if they come from my parents, if they come from my family or siblings. It really matters from people actually capable of giving it. As I mentioned, my mentor, my groups, and some other lovely people I have in my life. So at the end of the day, I recovered from this setback, from the slip. And it was much faster than I thought I could do. I thought I have to work years again to be back in this kind of on the streak. It seemed like impossible, but it took me a few weeks. Still takes some time, but it's possible. And I did that, and I was capable of doing it. Not because I worked harder at it, not because I put more discipline into it, but because I surrounded myself with what is true and with people actually loving me. And the following lessons I've learned and I've kept and I keep learning is that mistakes don't define who I am. I'm always worthy of love, and that being truthful and connection are the real path to healing. So I hope you've enjoyed the little sharing of my experience throughout the quarter. Maybe there's something you could learn, maybe there's something you don't understand. I don't care. So anyways, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.